and welcome to another video brought to you by AllFreeJewelryMaking.com and KeepsakeCrafts.net. Today I'm going to show you how to make this great, kind of earthy, crunchy wooden bead bracelet. It's so simple you don't even need any of your regular jewelry making tools, just a pair of scissors. So to make this bracelet, in addition to a few beads and a closure component, the main thing that you will need is 1mm leather cord. You want to make sure when you purchase it, and you can purchase it in rolls, it's more economical, or you can get it at the jewelry store, the craft stores, in packages of 1 or 2 yards. Make sure you get the 1mm and not the 2mm, because this smaller diameter cord will string through more beads for you and is a little easier to manage. To string onto our cord, we have 3 1-inch wooden beads and 6 about 3/8-inch wooden beads. These are kind of funky beads that a friend gave me in a box of old beads, and I've just been dying to do something with them because they're so interesting. So I started playing, and one thing I realized quickly is that these matte beads really did not go well with anything shiny, which is why I chose to do the wooden beads, which is kind of nice in a bracelet. It's lightweight and comfortable, especially for the summer. You'll also need a lobster clasp and a short length of chain. Mine here is about 1.5 inches long. So the first step is to use your scissors and trim an end of your leather cord, and you can have about 20 inches would be good. Trim one end at an angle so that you can string your beads on easily. So we're just going to put on our first set of our main bead with one of the other beads on each side. Maybe I need to cut that into a better angle. And don't be afraid to cut the end so that you can string better. Now you notice these beads have a rather huge hole. So to keep them in place, I'm going to have to make knots on the cord. And you just start by making a simple overhand knot. And depending on the diameter of the holes in your beads, like I said, mine are huge, so it goes right over that. I'm going to make another knot right on top of that one. And I kind of like the look. It almost acts as a bead of its own, a spacer built right in. So you just keep the knot right where the first one was. And now you have this kind of interesting knot. And then repeat on the other side. Just use your fingers to slide it right up against your bead. And then make another knot right on top of it. You'll want to use a ruler and kind of measure how big your particular beads are. Your average bracelet is around 7 to 7.5 inches. But I've already done the math on these, so I know I need to make my next knot a little more than 1/2 inch away. And that some of that's going to be taken up by the second knot that's on top of it. And then slide on your next set of beads. And go ahead and do the knotting again on this side, and then repeat, making another knot 1/2 inch away, and add your last 3 beads. And once you've done that, come back and I'll show you how to finish it up. So now you can see I've gone ahead and strung all 9 of my beads, and each set of 3 beads is surrounded by its own pair of knots. And that's it. That's the whole design element, and all that is left to do is to add your clasp. And nothing fancy here. I'm just going to knot on my lobster clasp. I went ahead and measured this bracelet, and from knot to knot it's 6.5 inches, and I want it to fit anywhere from a 7 to an 8 or so inch wrist. So I'm going to make this lobster clasp. This will add 1/2 inch, so I'm going to make it fairly close to the knot. Otherwise, it will end up being too big for some people. But I love making my jewelry adjustable, so it's one reason you usually see me using a lobster clasp along with a length of chain. And that way you can put that clasp into the length of chain wherever you want. So I've gone ahead and knotted that in place, and I think just kind of as a decorative element, I'm just going to fill in that little space there with one more knot. Oh, sorry about that. My camera battery died. So all you missed was me finishing the knots for the lobster clasp and the chain. And as I was saying, the extra knots on the ends just kind of add to the earthy, crunchy look and feel. And so I just added a couple extra knots just to fill in that space. And the nice thing about the leather cord is it sticks to itself, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart. I mean, you try taking it apart. It's kind of a pain because it's sticky. You could also use wax linen twine, by the way. I might use a couple of strands to make a bracelet like this, and then that would be very secure because of the wax makes it very sticky. And then I'm just going to trim those ends at an angle, and there you have it. A fun, lightweight beaded bracelet that you can whip up in next to no time. Here's another look at our project. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. For more crafting ideas and inspiration, be sure to check out keepsakecraft.net. Thanks for watching.